Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all our fans and listeners. Really appreciate y'all's support. This is going to be just a little fun bonus episode with me and Bryan. A couple weekends ago, we had an awesome time hanging out together. I went over to Pensacola for Pensacon 2023, but we also went and saw Cocaine Bear together. You know, the most anticipated horror movie of 2023, quite possibly since hell, I don't know. Uh, the Conjuring 2016 or who knows. I'm just
Halloween.
kidding. Halloween 2018, that whole trilogy, the most anticipated horror movie of all time. But just kidding, just playing around. We just had, we were just hanging out together. We said, let's go see it. So we're going to give our quick thoughts on Cocaine Bear and our little recap of Pensacon because we got to meet a lot of cool horror stars, and we'd like to share
Oh, for
those
sure.
experiences with y'all. Bryan, what do you think about Cocaine Bear? I thought it was everything that I had expected, honestly. Just a quick
Yeah.
one line description. It was everything I expected it would be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to know what you're going into, but I had a lot of fun with it. Like, I love Elizabeth Banks anyway. So when I found out that she basically, I guess, wrote and directed it or just wrote it, I'm not really 100% sure on that. But, I mean, I was like, heck yeah, I'm in. And it didn't disappoint me. Man, the kills were amazing, I thought. RIP Ray Liotta. This was his final go at it. Final time seeing him at the on the big screen, and what a way to go, baby! Cocaine
What
Bear.
what a way to go! The guy's been in Goodfellas, all kind of legendary movies, and Cocaine Bear is what he went out on. Uh, I'm sure he's proud of that, honestly. But like you said, though, fun movie. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was, and like you said, going into it, you got to just expect the right kind of. You got to go in with the right mindset. Like I didn't even care if like the crowd was loud or whatever. I wasn't going in there for a cinematic viewing experience or anything like that. Now, Scream this weekend. Now you better shut the hell up when I'm watching it. Don't you ruin my experience. Uh, but Cocaine Bear, the crowd had fun. I
Yeah.
had fun. Like Bryan said, the kills were cool. I was actually hoping for a little more Cocaine Bear, like just going ham on people, but I'm satisfied with what I got. And shout out to Ray Liotta, like you said, R.I.P. to a legend. And yeah, I
And
had
it's
fun with Cocaine Bear.
it's not like Thanksgiving or anything. Like it's not a total complete joke. Like I think it's really well done. I mean, I know it's based on a true story and all up there by Dustin because of course
Yeah,
Dustin would laugh. So, but anyway, of course, Cocaine Bear's up there by Dustin. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was very well written. There were some funny parts, but it's not like you would expect from Elizabeth Banks, where it's just a joke the whole time, like Pitch Perfect or whatever. It has a story. It's good. I enjoyed it.
yeah, I think it's a solid movie as well too. Like you said, it's definitely nothing like a Thanksgiving where it's just a complete joke and mockery of
Yeah.
an animal or a holiday, etc. It was fun. It was well written. It was shot well. It was like you said, it was really funny in a lot of spots too, and I enjoyed it. And it even put like kids in tense situations. I like that too. It didn't fuck around. Like it went for it, and I like that. I think movies should do that. It's like because you're a movie, you're not real life. Like go for things and
Right.
experiment. Be shocking. We need that in this world when it's fake,
When
not
it's
when it's
fake.
real.
Man, that's
But
why, and I don't want to get off on sidebar, man, but that's why movies like Joker, for instance, bother me because it's like I want to watch a movie, and I've said this before, I want to watch a movie to escape reality. But when I'm watching something like that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like real. This could be, anybody. Anybody could just turn into this shit. I see enough of this on like the news and stuff. So,
dude, every day it seems like. But no, I feel you. But it's also it comes back to one of those things we've said on the show a lot. Reality is the scariest kind of horror. Like,
yeah, yeah,
but
sure.
I'm with you. That's kind of like I think that's why we like slasher movies so much. Those cheesy '80s, '90s slashers. Because it's not real. You can
Right.
just have fun with watching your favorite mass killer, your killer doll, uh, Freddy and people's nightmares doing all kind of wild shit. You just get to escape reality and laugh and you just get some good laughs, get some good tension, some good
Yeah.
music, some good sound, and you just know it's not real. Stuff like Joker is pretty real, and that's kind of like the my issue with like not issue, but fascination with like home invasion kind of movies. They seem
Hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
realistic a lot of times too.
They mess with you.
Exactly. But back to Cocaine Bear. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Or I mean, honestly, you can wait. I mean, you could wait for streaming on it. I mean, it's not something you have to see, but heck, you just got 2 hours to burn. Go check it out. I will say it does kind of drag a little bit, like in the after the hour mark or whatever, because you're kind of like okay, but it's not boring or miserable by any means. It's fun to
No,
watch.
exactly. I didn't feel bored, so I agree.
Well, that's just our little quick, you know, just a review reaction to Cocaine Bear. Uh, if you want to just see a fun creature feature, go check it out. And for Ray Liotta, shout out to him. Uh,
Absolutely.
you want to do our recap on Pensacon now? That was fun,
Sure.
even
Yeah,
though it was a
absolutely.
giant cluster. This was my first year ever going to Pensacon. Bryan lives over in the Pensacola area, so I'm sure he's been to several of these by now. But this was my first time going. I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as the people in the group and online were complaining. It was definitely a cluster for sure, but it wasn't anything to where I'm just going to like nerd rage online and just yell at people into the clouds. Uh,
Right.
Honestly, if you just changed a few things around, I think it would be a pretty well run show, honestly. But the reason that I went this year is because I wanted to see my brother Brian, of course. But they had a really nice horror lineup there. They had Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, Rose McGowan, all from the Scream first Scream movie. They had Henry Thomas, who I'm a big fan of. He was in E.T., but he was also in The Haunting of Hill House, Ouija, Origin of Evil. I got to meet Vanessa Shaw. She was God, I can't remember her name. Allison in Hocus Pocus, and she was in The Hills Have Eyes, which is stay tuned for Brian's month. That's one of my potential movies that the fans are going to be voting on. We'll announce that at the end of the show as well.
Absolutely.
But great horror lineup considering this is just a pop culture kind of convention. It's not a
Right.
specific theme. It's got a smorgasbord of everything. So that's the reason that I went. Brian, did you how do you feel about Pensacon?
So this was my third time going, and not sequential. And like you said, I mean, I've been 3 times, but it was, like, specifically to go see a couple of people. Like, I went one year just specifically to go see, William Shatner and then go see a William Shatner Q&A because I thought, "When the hell's the next time I'm ever gonna see William Shatner ever in my life?" And then, like, um, last year, they did have a little bit of horror people last year. Had Nick Castle, had, PJ Souls, and there was a few. I mean, and I think I made some videos and some stuff. Oh, Tara Reid, but um, there, this year was the most exciting to me, and I kept all anticipating all the way up to it. I was worried because you know how people drop out of these things and stuff like that. And oh, well, let me back up. I've only ever been to these Pensacons and then one horror convention, and that's the one we all went to, Days of the Dead in Atlanta. So I don't know any different except for that Days of the Dead, and to me that was a lot smaller than this. Um, Pensacon's just I don't know if it's a clusterfuck. I've never been to one that's been as big, so I don't know how that's supposed to be run. But it's getting a little bit better every year, but it is definitely seems like an organized mess, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a way to put it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
them
was
volunteers is fighting for their life.
yeah, no doubt. do, do not volunteer for that. Um, but I like you. I was really wanting to see the Scream people. And I have a Scream mask with Nev Campbell's signature by herself. I have a Scream mask with Courtney Cox and David Arquette. So I saw the opportunity to finish up the rest of the cast and actually finally have every Scream actors from the first movie on there. Now I do want Roger L. Jackson at some point, but as far as the actors, this is it. And I mean, you don't ever see Rose McGowan on any stuff like this. Like, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have to. I mean, some of these guys I know and I will say, and I know I'm like jibber jabbering, but Skeeto Rich, Matthew Lillard, and Jamie Kennedy all seemed like they had a bond. All seemed like they had, I don't want to say a brotherhood, but I'm sure that the other cast members have that too that are girls. But Rose kind of seemed a little bit on the outskirts of that. And I don't know, nobody really said anything or anything like that. But I went looking on eBay for a Scream mask signed by Rose McGowan, just curious, and you can't find one. So she just does not go to Scream conventions. And she may have been there yes, for some Scream, but she might have been there for the Charmed as well because they had kind of a little bit of Charmed reunion minus Alyssa Milano. So I don't know why she was there. Don't care. I got her signature on that. We got her signature on that Scream mask, and that's something can never be taken away.
Oh, absolutely. And I've always heard a lot of times don't meet your heroes. All four of them were incredibly nice. I
Absolutely.
can't speak highly enough of all four of them. Uh, Rose McGowan, like you mentioned, she was very sweet, very kind. Jamie
Very
Kennedy,
good.
I had a blast with because even though he is Randy Meeks, he's always going to be B Rad from Malibu. I even
Right.
got him to sign my screen mask with B Rad from Boo underneath it, and getting to rap with him about Malibu's Most Wanted was a treasured moment in my life. I'll remember that forever. But Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, like their lines were really long, especially Matthew Lillard's, and they were so freaking nice.
Yeah.
Especially Matthew Lillard, just because he knows he has his giant line, but he still makes sure to give you the time of day. He knows that you paid your hard earned money to see him for just a few moments. So he makes it well worth it. So
Yeah.
if you're ever debating on going to see Matthew Lillard or Skeet Ulrich, etc., I would highly, highly suggest you go do it. And I
Yeah.
can't speak highly enough of the screen panel that Matthew and Skeet
Oh
and
yeah.
Jamie did together.
Absolutely.
That was worth the price of admission to me.
Yes.
That was a great time, and I love how
hmm
they just took over the whole damn panel after the the moderator asked one question.
Yes. Moderator, you could tell the moderator was kind of pissed off about that a little bit, but they asked one question, and then it was like Matthew Lillard just was like, "All right, we're done." They all got up, they all got microphones, and they all walked around and started doing Q&As, and that was great because they've sat there and listened to moderators ask them questions upon questions upon questions, and they are there for the fans, and they were just the most down to earth, just amazing humans. If it, that I mean, they're great. They were great. And it says something else that Rose did not participate in that Q&A. So it was just those three guys. And yeah, like you said, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm curious on that because I saw online, like on Instagram, I just searched the hashtag Pensacon 2023, or it might have been in that group or something. She did do a group photo with the other three guys, so I don't think
Oh,
she
okay.
has beef with them. I
Yeah, I
I
don't
think it's kind
either.
of I think it's kind of what me and you talked about with the Weinsteins, and we're not going
Yes.
to get into that, but I think that's probably the qualm,
Yeah,
which
probably.
I get 100%. I mean, who am I to argue with her about that? I get it, but
Absolutely.
I I had a great time at Pensacon.
Yes.
I thought it was a blast. I was dog tired by the end of it from walking and standing so much, but hey, what can you do? You gotta risk
That's
it for
right.
the biscuit. But
Yeah, Matthew
I
Lillard,
was
I had him sign my the mouth of my Scream mask, and he goes, "Well, we usually leave these for the big three, talking about David and Courtney and Nev apparently." And I said, "Well, you're my Nev," and he was like, "I'm your Nev," and he was like Skeet Ulrich next to us. He was like, "Skeet, I'm his Nev."
and then I told him I loved him and without a paddle, and he said, "Oh, it's just because you want to see me in my underwear the whole movie."
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, I can't even compliment the movie you're in. Like an underrated gem, in my opinion. That's a
Oh, and
great
during the
movie."
Q&A, tell him what he said about 13 Ghosts.
Oh man, he made my day. Someone, another fan asked about 13 Ghosts, said they liked it, and then, I'm quoting Matthew Lillard. This isn't my words. He said, "You have terrible taste in movies. It's a terrible movie. It gets really hot in there with all the mirror or the all the glass." I thought it was pretty funny that he thought it was a terrible movie because I don't think
Yeah,
it's a
he
very
said.
good movie
Yeah, he
either.
said you have a terrible taste in movies if you like that. And I was like, damn.
I was like, "Oh, okay, goddamn." See, that's why the
That's right.
girl who behind us who started crying about not getting asked their question should be think at least they didn't say your question sucked or the movie you like of me sucks. I mean, find the positives and everything.
There's some weird people. I'm telling you, there's just some weird cats at these conventions. Sorry, no offense, because if you're listening, I'm sure you're not the weird one, but there are
Yeah.
some weird cats out there, as you know.
Hey, I
Oh,
don't care.
also, I wanted to see Leia Thompson from Back to the Future because I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, and I thought, man, I don't even know the next time I'll get to ever even meet anybody from Back to the Future, much less one of the big stars. And I her lines surprisingly was not long, and I was able to walk up to it, and I think that may be an age thing. Um, but I got her to sign my hoverboard. And my God, about this hoverboard. Listen, if you ever see a guy walking around a convention with a hoverboard, leave him the fuck alone. I must have had 50 fucking questions of people going, "Hey man, nice hoverboard." I mean, that's nice. But then they started thinking I was like, I was dressed in a "Don't Go Out There" shirt, carrying it. I wasn't cosplaying, man. People thought I was trying to be Marty McFly. What? Just
That
because
was the
I'm carrying
best.
this thing around?
That was the best part. As soon as we walk in to get our wristbands to get in, this guy's like, "Can I take a picture?" Or you're dressed like Marty McFly. All he like Brian said, he had regular pants on, a "Don't Go Out There" shirt, and he had the freaking hoverboard.
Yeah, and so I took a picture for this guy like I was a cosplayer, which okay, whatever. But it was kind of funny at first, but about 50, 60 in, I was like, Nico, please carry this fucking hoverboard.
And then people were asking me about. It. I was like, I don't even know much about it. I've only seen the first Back to the Future once.
Oh God.
I'm sorry
Anyway,
if that hurt your feelings. Hey, I thought the
it does.
first one was really good though. It's a really good movie.
It does hurt my feelings. I just want you to know that.
But there were a lot of people I would have liked to have met at Pensacon, but time and money, you don't have a lot of those at a convention. Hate to say it,
Yeah.
because I burnt through some cash real quick. There were other
Same.
people there I would have liked to have met. Omri Katz was there as well from Hocus Pocus. He wasn't at his table when we walked by, but he was there. Kevin Nash, I grew up
Yes.
WCW, NWO, Wolfpack. I at least got to walk past him. That was really cool. And Ethan Suplee is it Suplee? Is that how you say his name? He was there as well.
Oh.
Louis Lastic from Remember the Titans, he was there.
Mhm.
Uh, Incredible weight loss journey. I would have loved to talk to him just about that and just the change in his life, but we don't have all day of these things. And by 5 o'clock rolls around, you're exhausted and hungry and just want to go home. So, and
Yes.
shout out to Brian's wife making some chicken and dumplings and some amazing cornbread. And man, it was a good day.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And I wanted to see. You got to see Henry Thomas. I wanted to see him too. I mean, I saw him, but I wanted to meet him and get him signature. They kind of had a mini ET reunion. Dee
Hmm.
Wallace was there, horror legend, plus ET, of course. And I wanted to meet them and stuff. But like you said, it's just so much. That's waiting. We waited for what, an hour, hour and a half for Matthew Lillard, and
Hmm.
I've been 3 times, and I've never waited in line for somebody that long before. So I think that Mitsukon's picking up more, but also they're, Matthew. That shows how much people love Matthew Lillard from just a array of things. But yeah, we spent a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy too because like Skeet Ulrich, if you like compare like their Instagram followers, Skeet has way more than Matthew. But I feel like his roles have just made more of an impact. Like he's just,
Yeah,
I mean, Scooby Doo and Scream. Like, I mean, shout out to Billy Loomis, but there's a lot of Stu Macher fans out there. They want him coming back more than anybody, I think.
yeah, I agree. But he's not. Thank God, he's not coming back. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
he
he's
said it
dead.
himself. He's not coming back. So, I mean, he shouldn't. He's fucking dead, people. Let it go.
That's right.
It happens. Anyways, Pensacon was fun. I'll definitely go back, depending on who they get, obviously,
Right. Same.
because I mean, I'm not going to. No offense, I'm not going to see voice actors from some anime I've never heard of. Sorry, that's just me.
And
But
I
I
feel
had a
like
great
that,
time.
I feel like that the Civic Center, the Pensacola Civic Center is just terrible. It's just a terrible location. Like, we while Nico was in there talking to Henry Thomas, I'll have my hoverboard. I was in there waiting on him, like looking at D Wallace because like I was like, that's awesome. That's D Wallace, but I don't have any more money. And so I was like trying to hold on, and then Leia Thompson walked in, and I was thinking, what the hell? I was about to go see her, and she was saying hey to everybody, and you heard her say, and I've heard this throughout the years from people from some of the cast from some of the celebrities say, well, this so weirdly laid out that I wanted to come see my friends, and so she was talking to D Wallace, of course, but it was just it was, and she saw me with the hoverboard and pointed at me, and I said, I'm coming to see you, and so she said, thankfully I'm going right back. So it's weirdly laid out, man. It's like you
It
have to
is
walk through hallways and it's hot and most
stinks.
everybody's dressed up. It smells like shit. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy said the same thing. He said that it was really laid out weird, and that he thought that they should have been down there where the vendors were.
Agreed.
And I agree personally. um, just to help with the lines because Matthew Lillard's line was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth it to me. It was probably not worth it to that one guy who was raging out on the poor volunteers, but he'll be all right.
Again, weirdos. Oh, and we skipped like 45 people probably to get in Rose McGowan's line.
Hey, sometimes if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what I'm saying. But I think we've done a sufficient job just doing a quick reaction to Cocaine Bear. Not much to dive in there. I mean,
Right.
it's Cocaine Bear. I mean,
Yep.
honestly, the movie is what it is. If you go and expecting an Oscar, you lost it. But Brian, why don't you? We're about to start off Dustin's month. I don't want to skip over it, but Brian's got a really cool idea for his month. What do you call like fan appreciation month, kind of sort of thing?
Yeah, or just fan pick month. I don't know. I'll settle on something for the graphic, but yeah,
That
basically, I just wanted the fans' involvement, and so I thought, well, instead of us just picking a movie every month or every week for my month, we'll pick four and then put it up on our social medias, not just Twitter, not just Instagram, not just Facebook, all of them, and let the fans vote on what they want us to do out of those four.
I think that's an awesome idea, and and it's not like it's not our picks either. We're still picking the four movies
Right.
for the fans to pick. We're just letting the fans basically make our pick of these picks. So I think that's a fun idea. I'm really looking forward to it because the four movies I have for sure have been on my list for a while, but I just keep fighting between them, or then right at the last minute I change it. So we're leaving it all up to your hands, and I'm really looking forward to it, Brian.
Yeah, that'll be fun, I think. But and I know you're not, but I'm looking forward to the monster movie classics too. That's coming up this month. I think that'll be fun.
I I am looking forward to finally watching them. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell the fans that I'm going to like these movies, but I do respect them for what they've done and set the foundation for my favorite genre. But don't take offense to it if I think Creature from the Black Lagoon didn't age well. Sorry,
Well, I
or
mean,
if Dracula didn't age well.
I don't think any of them's going to age well, to be honest. But it may be very impressive to see some of the stuff that they do and that they did back in the 30s that
I
still
mean,
to
think
this
about it.
day.
Frankenstein is 1931. That's almost 100 years old at this point.
Yep, exactly.
Dracula is 90 years old. It came out in 1933. I'm going to keep that in my mind whenever I watch these movies and review them. I'm not going to be completely jaded to that. And I'm going to be respectful because we don't have Jason without Dracula.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I got to be appreciative of what at least set the foundation for. But I think we can wrap it up right there. Brian, I had a great time. It was great seeing you, like always.
You too,
Appreciate the
bud.
hospitality. Looking forward to some more conventions because I just like meeting people. Uh,
Yeah,
we try our hardest to get these guests to come on our show. I promise we put in the footwork.
we do. We
We're
try.
really trying to get Vanessa Shaw on. She was. Let me compliment her real quick. She was super nice.
Oh
Did she
yeah.
say like this was one of her first conventions as well too, or something like that?
I don't
Or
know. I mean, we could walk right up to her, and I guess maybe we timed it well or whatever. But you could do that with some of these celebrities. It's just I think they came in waves and stuff like that. And so after lunch, it was awesome. You could just walk right up. And so I was listening to her talk to Vanessa Shaw because I know who she is, but didn't plan on getting her autograph. But I was listening to Nico talk to her, or you talk to her, and I was like, God, she is awesome. She is amazing. So I just went and got her autograph too.
heck yeah. I thought she was incredibly nice, and she's in a movie that's one of my picks for Brian's month. So if you want to see that movie, vote for it. I really hope we get her on the show. I'm still shooting for Jonathan Breck as well. I saw where he kind of had like a little medical thing come up. That's why he had to cancel a show. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I haven't heard back from him. But I'm really shooting for that one as well because that was an incredible. He was an incredible panel as well. Just want to thank all our fans and listeners. We hope you enjoyed this little just reaction show. A lot of cool stuff coming in the future, so stay tuned. And we're also going to be giving away a book. It all began with a scream. Join our blood donors now if you want it, because we're going to give those to the blood donors because we really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.